I have one last question on the admissions part, because you talked about how you admitted your flaws. Okay. Now, this is something very interesting. I'm curious whether those were personal flaws or professional flaws or both.
Oh, a little of both. So my idea about what I thought the MBA would be, besides the curriculum and the education, which it certainly was a transformative experience. And unless you are, I know it's a cliche phrase, but unless you're pushed out of your comfort zone, or you're willing to admit and do a lot of self reflection about where your flaws are, you can never build upon them or improve them. You will just deflect and deter and avoid. And that's not conducive to a transformative experience. Not one where you especially want to come out as, you start the ordinary person, you want to come out the extraordinary person, much like a hero in a hero's journey when they go on their adventure. And I think without coming to terms with knowledge I lacked, experience I lacked, or personal development that I lacked, or emotional intelligence that I wanted to build on, without acknowledging all of these things, I wouldn't be able to assess how I wanted to develop more. Because I knew I wanted to learn more. That was obvious, so I was applying to educational institutes. But there is certainly more personal development that I wanted to do. So, yes, I was very forward about this, not only in my conversations with people, but especially in my essays as well, where I thought I really had a free platform for a non judgmental type of compelling confession, where all of these things are right with me, and all of these things I would like to be right with me. And here are the things that I'm constantly working on. And I find that I always talk about these things, even in conversations or in interviews, because I want to be constantly improving and always developing into a newer, better iteration of myself. And school really helps with that.
Well, let's. God, I absolutely love what you just said, and we'll probably clip that 3 minutes to kind of promote the show. Because I just think that's a really hard thing for a lot of candidates when you're applying to these elite institutions, to admit any sort of flaws, because you want to appear. But it's exactly what you said. How are you going to transform without knowing, you know, where you can or where you could transform? So